Hello, everyone.
Hi
Welcome
guys.
back to Angel Talk by the Angelics. Here we talk about navigating life as a dancer, choreographer, business owner, and woman in general. So today's topic, Sela, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about self-branding. So things you should know how to build your brand. We'll talk about our social media accounts, kind of like how to price yourself, and then also just your website in general and how to showcase yourself outside.
Very
So,
important.
Very important.
yes.
And I think something that I'm learning is like, especially as dancers, we are a business.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
we ourselves are a business. And just like any business, we have to market ourselves, get people to like book with us because we are the job.
Yes.
We
I
are.
actually love that you said that because we are building like our own masterpiece in ourselves. We're trying
Yeah.
to figure out ourselves as well as showcasing ourselves to everyone else. So it's really good to have that confidence in knowing who you are as a person before you start showcasing like what you want. So going to our first topic is the social media accounts. I want to ask Luna how she does it because our queen over here, she does a little bit of like content creation. I just kind of want to know kind of like the color themes, specific dance videos, like how do you kind of construct your social media account?
Okay, I hope this episode will help a lot of people, and I'm still learning too.
Right.
And just to get out there, Instagram Instagram algorithm changes every single week,
Literally.
and
Yes.
it's making my work so hard.
Really?
Like I have to like search on the YouTube like algorithm update or something like that every single day so that I'm updated. And then whenever I talk to my clients,
Yeah.
I'm working as a social media manager for like individuals in this influencer, small business owner, and stuff like that. So like whenever they ask me a question, I want to be able to give them an answer with the confidence, with the
Right.
fact. So I've been like listening to the podcast every single morning whenever I'm doing my makeup and stuff like that. I hope they stop changing it, but this is what I know right now, as right now. So the first thing is very important is this is something that people usually forget easily. It's your username. The section that you can change your name,
Right.
and usually you have your first and last name, and that's it. Or like something that doesn't make any sense, like TTT 1 2 3 or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
You're missing a lot of opportunities actually. If you are like dancer, you want to put your first and last name and like professional dancer or something like that, because that's how the search engine will hook your account and then show the result to the people. So let's say people, if they search like Dallas, Texas, dancer, professional dancer, then if your username have the dancer in there, then it'll show your account. And I actually had got private client from that, and I asked her, hey, how did you find out about me? Because she didn't have any connection with me. I didn't know about her. And she was like, oh, I just searched you on Instagram. I searched professional dancer in Dallas, Texas, and your account showed up. I was like,
awesome.
oh, that's working.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can do today, right now. Go in there and just change it up, your username. And another thing is, so you have username and also the account name, right? The
Right.
at blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
You want to keep that username with the at very simple. Like if you can do first and last name, do it.
Okay.
You don't want to do like fairy tale 1 2 3 underscore. You don't want to do it because that's also gonna be hooked by the search engine. So if you want to if you can do first last name, do it. If your first and last name are taken, then just put like professional dancer or content creator or stuff like that. So use it as like same thing for username too.
Okay.
In the
I
bio
am-
too. Yeah.
I am learning a little bit as we go too.
Me too.
Do you have a way of hooking your dance videos? I can just say like just professional camera for sure helps, colors, like contrast with clothing, but do you have anything else that kind of goes with putting your
Yeah.
dance videos out?
I feel like the branding itself, I mean, the easiest topic is like color, how you your tone, how you look is very important. Like, just make it consistent, because if you think about all those brands out there, do they change the color scheme every single week? No, right? And also your account profile picture too.
Yes.
Is it like something that is very hard to read? No, right? It's just like road cosmetic, like, or is it cosmetic or skincare? I don't know, but the Hailey Bieber's one. If you think about the profile picture, it just says road, and you can read it
Right.
if you see it,
Right.
or like Skims and stuff like that. So if
Very
you're a
simple.
dancer, very simple. If
Yes.
you're a small business owner, you want to put just your name, like very simple with your brand color. And if you're a dancer or influencer, something related to, like, if you want to present yourself as individually, then you should put your clear face picture, like, not like, you know, some dancers or artists want to do like cover your face with the shadow, and like it looks so cool, but you can do it on your feed, not
Right.
your profile picture.
Right.
But yeah, if you have brand color, you want to stick to the color. Just keep it simple and keep it consistent, because that's how people remember you.
Right. And I
But
think that rolls us to our next point about how your looks matter. And just like that color contrast, what looks good with your skin, what looks like not so good, just kind of figuring out yourself as a person. I just feel even with that, you can't change it up a bit, because you are a brand in yourself or a business. So you
Right.
don't want to keep on constantly changing the logo if you think of yourself as
Right.
a logo.
Definitely.
So even with like your hairstyle, like Charity has her hairstyle that she loves, and that's like her main thing that like makes her pop
Yeah.
out a little bit, or it gives her a little character trait, and people will recognize her a little bit more. So do you guys have anything else to say about that?
Yeah, I think because a lot of the entertainment industry, dance industry, and entertainment industry in general is like the way you look. We, something people don't want to talk about, but it's kind of a thing. It's like typecasting,
Right.
or casting based off a look.
For sure.
True.
It happens as much as we don't want to admit that it does. It does, If you're trying to dance with an artist, if the artist is 5'5", they don't want the dancers to be 6'2",
Right.
For sure.
because it's going to overpower the artist. So
Right.
they look for a specific height, skin tone, hair color, things like that. So if you're basically selling yourself, and so what they see on your feed, and we talk about social media so much because it's so important.
Right.
As much, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It can be a lot. Yeah.
But the world is ran by social media at this point.
For sure.
So it is really important to know what your individual features are, and like maximize those and accentuate
Yeah.
those things, so
For
that
sure.
when it comes like, someone, there's an artist who is looking for dancers, or if you're trying to try out for a professional team, you have that look, and it's clear that if they're looking for this, boom, they find
Right.
you.
It's easy to find you.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I was like kind of shocked, but when I went to the LA with Selah, whenever you want to go to like a LA playground or like Millennium, whatever dance studio, you see like the schedule, right? And you see the instructor's name, right? But you don't really have bios or anything in that app. So
Right.
I find myself type their name into the Instagram
Yeah.
and
That is
see
so
their
true.
dance videos
Yeah.
and see if we like it or not. And I was like,
so
this
true.
is crazy. Like, this is how we decide dance classes
It
now.
really is.
It's crazy to think
Right?
about, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, but it definitely plays an impact, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to have your dance videos or what you're trying to promote, like the first few videos, because no
Right.
one's going to be
Yeah.
scrolling down trying to look for it.
Yeah. if
Or I
you're a
mean, I
dancer,
would definitely not be
Yeah.
looking for that. I'd just be like, okay, next.
People's
Yeah.
attention spans are so short.
Yeah.
And if it's like a casting director, they've looked at hundreds of pages or
Yes.
resumes.
Oh my
like,
God.
they
Every
need to
single
see
day.
it as soon as they they look at your page.
Right.
So it's very, 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 very important. Keep your page updated.
Yep.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pin the post that you like.
Yeah.
You want them to see.
And pin your
Yeah.
headshot.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a headshot, make sure that's the first thing, and make sure it matches the headshot that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to give.
That is a
people.
great point.
Like, I
Yes.
couldn't show up to an audition with purple hair, and my headshot is me as a blonde.
They'll be like,
They'll
wait,
Right.
what?
Right.
Exactly.
You're like,
They're
this isn't what we asked for.
Exactly.
That is so true.
So you gotta keep it consistent.
Yeah, I like that. All right. And then also how to price yourself. So gigs, privates, choreography, workshops. I wanted to start that off in saying no one's going to have it perfect the first time. I feel like that's a learning process on yourself and like what experiences you've had getting to that point. Wouldn't you guys say that?
I had
Or
to
what
ask
would you say?
someone because I didn't know about the rate here. I had to ask the veteran of DCRB, and you know, some people don't want to talk about it.
Money is a taboo subject.
It's a
Yeah.
sensitive
I don't think it should
topic.
be.
Right?
We all want money, and we're all trying to get it,
know.
so why do we not talk about
Like,
it?
how do we live a life?
Exactly.
Money.
Yeah.
So I think it should be like okay to talk about it, but she was so kind enough to tell me about. I asked her about the private rate,
Okay.
and she told me it was. I don't mind saying it. It's $65 per hour, and I think it's okay amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, I asked someone, and you should have someone who can ask too. And I
Right,
don't want to be the
definitely.
person who would be like, oh, that's so private. Like I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
I would tell anyone. Like I would tell you guys.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's how I know.
And then
How I knew.
it also depends on like the time you're putting into it.
Yeah.
Because like a piece that you're choreographing for a studio is a way different price than a workshop that you're just doing for an hour and then choreo that you already have on the spot. But how would you guys say that varies?
Honestly, like you were saying, it really depends on like the time that you're putting into it. If you are choreographing, let's say you're choreographing a competition piece for a studio, like you want to take into account the time that you actually take to choreograph
Yeah.
the piece, because it's taking time out of your day to sit down, listen to the music, come up with the counts, come up with the routine, visualize like formations,
Yeah.
depending on how long the combo is, how many dancers there are. Like it's so many different things that come into play.
Yes.
So just really thinking about all of that. And I would also say, think about like your experience too. Like for us, we've danced on a professional team, so we have the credit, we have that in our resume.
Right.
The price goes up.
Right.
Which
You
is
know,
hard.
like-
It's hard for
It's
us to
okay.
realize, but it is
Yeah,
the truth. Like
it's
you,
true.
you have to put yourself not in a. I wouldn't say it's cocky, but
It's
like
not cocky.
you got there.
It's knowing
Might
your
as
worth.
well raise your prices because that is your worth. Yes, exactly
Yeah.
how you said. And then also with that, you can't be afraid of people rejecting the amount that you want.
I agree.
Because not a lot of people know the process. Us dancers, like it's a very small community, and they're like, oh, you can just make a choreo on the spot. No, it's a lot of intention, like
Yeah.
you said, music, dance. Like think about this, how many people are in there. So yeah, just don't be afraid of people rejecting it, and just stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
Do you guys have any other things on that point, or?
There is, like, recently, I think the dance community as a whole, we're starting to realize our worth, because people tend to underpay
Right.
dancers.
Yeah, it
in
really is.
a lot of different arenas. And, you know, there's a company called, I think it's called Dancers Alliance or Dance Alliance or something like that, where they kind of educate dancers on this is like the typical range of how much you should charge for if you're going on tour or if you are choreographing for someone. So definitely look into that because it's very educational. But I kind of lost my train of thought. Basically just knowing that you can charge.
Hey, it's all right.
Or, like, it's
all
okay. It's okay to be educated. Like, do your research because it is kind of a hard thing. No one really wants to ask for
Yeah.
money from people. Like,
Right.
no one wants to do that, but you do have to know that your time is valuable.
For sure.
It is. It's so true.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I've had the time that I got rejected because of the rate too.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally fine. You don't want to submit the rate that they're going to say yes really easily. Like if they will reach back to you like, hey, can you price it down a little bit? I think that's the good amount. Like
Right.
that's a perfect amount. But if they say like yes right away, then that's probably like, oh,
Really did
this
a
is
little
so, yeah.
You're like,
it was
wait.
cheap.
People are like gonna pay what you charge.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
if they don't, I always think of like super expensive brands like your Teslas and your like Birkin bags and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Those companies don't go on sale. They
Uh-uh.
don't go on sale because they know that
That
the
is so
people who
true.
can
Right.
afford it are gonna pay it. And the
Uh-huh.
people who can't. And
That's
like,
your target.
That's okay. I've had a lot of people like I would tell them my rates and I don't hear anything back.
I know it
okay.
kind of hurt at first, but I'm like, no, that's okay. That was not your target. That was not your
right.
client,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
totally fine. And you should go higher. Like you should go, keep looking out for a right client.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and you know what? Like, it doesn't stop there. There's so many more opportunities.
Oh my
that
goodness,
are gonna
yeah.
be in your face. So don't
Definitely.
get butthurt or like sad
Mm-mm.
and feel like your prices were too much
Yeah.
because they're not going to be too much for another person.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
And then also with our last point is our website. So we do have Luna here who kind of started us off like with our websites. We have not finished them, but we'll get to it
Totally
sooner or
fine.
later.
It's okay.
Anyways, she told us that she's had some privates from that website. So just give them a little bit of your tips and tricks, what you put on that website and everything like that.
First of all, I'm still like, yes, I did a professional dancing in professional dance industry, but I feel like I can grow more. So I'm not like, I can talk about all the things because I did a professional blah, blah, blah. But like, we're all still learning. And I think learning about this social media is very important to get to the point, get to the, achieve the goals and stuff. But I think the website is the core
Yeah.
because,
Everything's online.
yeah,
now.
everything is
Yes.
online now, and people don't want to ask you millions of questions like, "What's your rate? What you can do?
Right.
Like, can you come over here?" Like, you don't want to do that also because you're working. You want to minimize your time,
Definitely.
but you can create. I already told you guys, but you can create free website, really easy and simple website page on the Canva. So. And there's so many free resources now these days. Like you don't even have to pay for it. Or like if you can make website, you can just create one page of PDF and create the link with it with the Canva. You can do that, and then just put it on your account. Or like make bio type of the link. If you type the link,
Like a
you can
link
see
in
like
bio.
link in bio type of link. You can do that too, and you can put all the contact information, your service, your private session, or stuff like that. And yeah, I made a first website with the Canva, and I got like 2 clients from there.
Yeah.
They just typed the Dallas, Texas professional dancer on Instagram, and they saw my website, and they reached out to me from the website. I was like, hey, this is working. But I feel like it makes you look more professional too if you have a website.
Yes.
But yeah, you can totally do that. Anyone can do that, and I think we should take that advantage of the free resources that we have right now.
Yeah. And even if like you aren't maybe super tech savvy or you don't have like the eye for like creativity, you can always find someone who can do it for you.
Right.
For
Or
sure.
there's also like online resources that will kind of build it for you. You can use templates. all that.
Fiverr.
Yeah, Fiverr.
Yeah.
Like it's a way to do it, but it's definitely very important.
Yes.
And too, while you were talking, I was thinking, think about your goal too. Like, if you are going more so, you want to teach and choreograph, that will kind of dictate how your website, like what information you put on your site, versus like maybe you just want to be booked as a performer. Your site will be more of like a portfolio type thing, where
Right.
you're just showing yourself and photos, videos, and things like that. So think about that too. So that way you have more of like a clear avenue to kind of go
Yeah.
down.
Right.
Yeah.
I love all that we talked about. I feel like I learned
Very-
something, or like
yeah.
reminders for myself as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I
So
learned a lot.
yeah.
Very educational.
Yes. Well, thank y'all for coming back to our channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then just comment down some questions if you had anything about this topic, and then we'll get back to it. But we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.